How many logs have you been through so far?
Oh, I would say if it's 1,052, we've probably been through 850. Almost. Yeah.
Boy,
most of them were harvested locally.
are you okay?
How so?
You know, sort of mind and spirit and body and all that stuff?
I'd love to finish this.
Yeah, okay.
Now, some of the logs were actually cut.
The oak in the basement came within a mile on the other side of the pond.
That's wonderful.
A lot of the timbers.
You look like a Vermonter, my friend.
Perfect. It's the perfect example of microeconomics.
Go ahead and make a description of what you do.
Striving for. We saw lumber out, harvested locally. Bring it up here. Anything that needs to be resawn, that's going to be gun stocked or curved with the HEMA, we bring up here and do. Anything that's just straightforward cuts, connecting girts, stuff like that. The rafters, they could be in town, but anything I have to bring back down to the mill or curve, we bring here. There's no sense trucking them too far.
What is this piece here?
This is going to be a post. It could be a king post. It's good enough to be a king post, but
In one of the beds.
yeah, we're trying to finish up that first section, first half of the building, so I'm lacking a few posts. So that's what I've been doing. I have 3 of them actually right now that are ready to be resawn, but the temperature is playing a role. So
So the size of that beam.
it's a 12 by 12 right now. It actually is going to be an 8 by 8. But on the top where the tie beam fits to it, it's 12 inches, and it'll taper down as a gun stock.
My goodness.
Every post in this building is gun stock.
Gives a great character.
Hang on, and I'll have a.
So what are you doing now?
Right now, I'm laying out for a connecting girt mortise and making sure I have the right face. I'm left with the right face. So you have to look at both ends of the log and see if the heart is off-centered in a way.
That's what he's looking at, is the heart.
Because ultimately I'm going to take 4 inches off most of this and it'll return to 12. So you don't want to take 4 inches off and then have the heart exposed. You want to try to keep the heart as centered as possible. Take 2 inches off of here and then gun stock it, and 2 inches off the bottom and gun stock it. So you really have to pay attention. So my tongue will be here on top, and my beam, tie beam, will go into the back.
How many notches will be in this log?
in this one particular one?
Yeah.
Well, there's six, then it goes down to the mill, and 3 more get cut into it.
Oh my goodness.
And I have a nice healthy knot right here to deal with. Sharp tools.
Yeah.
We can handle that.
Sharp tools is very key in this business.
Can't do it without. So I'll
So a connecting girt, that's the equivalent to a horizontal stud.
it's a well, yeah, it ties the bents together. It's an 8x10 that fits in here. 8x10 by, these posts are 14 feet on center. I could more itself.
And there's the nice knot he was talking about.
Right through the center of that.
Well, it makes for good strong wood.
So what's this machine called?
This is a chain mortiser.
That's a fancy piece of equipment.
It sure is.
Very expensive.
Sure is.
Why was it so expensive?
Well, it does the work of many men. Usually in the olden days, you'd have mortisers that were hand cranked. It'd take a while, or simply just drilling out and removing a lot of the wood with a chisel. Big drills and chisels, which I used to do. Your first project was like that.
I remember.
Yep. And this speeds things up. It does you can do a quite an accurate job, and it just speeds things up. Hiring 2 guys.
Is it an American machine or?
Unfortunately, no. It seems to be. This is a Japanese. The most of your timber frame tools that are built for timber framing specifically are European. The Europeans are still maintained to build their with timber. So a lot of the tools I have are German. And, we try to buy as much American as we can, but if they're not there, the
And timber framing saves raw materials.
Yep. This post is, if you count the growth rings on this post, it's probably 100 years old. And the building should last several hundred years. So by the time, theoretically, by the time this post needs to be replaced, this tree could have regenerated itself 3 or 4 times. You should be gaining on your natural resources. And that is why the Europeans continue to build with timber frames, because of that fact. They don't have the natural resources. They're trying to build them back. Safety first.
Eyes and ears.
Eyes and ears. I have some safety glasses right here. This is what I use at night.
Oh yes.
So I can see the lines.
Little LED.
Yep. So I can see the lines when I'm cutting this off. Oh, this is cool.
impressive how that makes plunge cut like it does and saves
That's a
so much.
froze hemlock knot.
How hard is a froze hemlock knot?
You can chisel.
Really?
Yeah, it's incredibly hard. If you had to hand drill that and chisel it out, it would take you a long time.
Okay. So what'd you pay for that? So was it $10,000?
No, I think 1,600. They're really not that bad for what you can accomplish with this. There are European models of the same tool that will cost, you know, 3,000 or 4,000. Somehow they have different toolings that I would suppose could be better, or some people think are better. This is a square hole, perpendicular. That is.
How deep?
Oh, it's cold. The length of that pencil, 7 inches. This is what they call a through mortise. I'll flip the machine around, cut in from here, and then transfer these lines to the other side
Speak
of
up.
the beam. This is actually a post that stands upright, and you have 2 of these skirts connecting the joints, the bends.
Whose idea was that? Thank you.
Every joint in the building is housed or setting on a 2-inch shelf. This is an example of a drawbore peg. That hole in the knee brace was offset, so when you pounded that through, it actually tightened this joint up.
Is that timber going to hold?
Yes. This is a bit of an overbuild, but it's a good thing. That's how we build it.
What kind of oak tree did you cut that from?
This was the carrying timber in the building. Is a 64-foot piece of 10 by 14, not 64-foot continuous. It has a joint over each post. And that oak actually was procured less than a mile from here.
Almost due north.
Due north, across the pond.
Red oak.
This red oak is a couple hundred years old.
200 years old.
Yeah.
Be sure.
Positive. Yeah. It's incredible stuff. And that's what bumps your live load in your floor system up to 100 pounds per square foot live load. We didn't really plan on it, but
It helps.
it made a big difference. Did the floor seem sturdy enough when you were walking on it?
I'll tell you what, the spruce is weaker than the rest
Yeah,
of it.
you could actually drive automobiles.
The spruce is the weakest part.
Yeah.
And it's not too weak.
There's 12-foot bridge spans that have the same.
Parking bulldozer and whatnot.
I could park the excavator, the bulldozer, oh yeah. I could park my equipment over this, really. I can pull all my equipment over it that I own.
These are the plinths that Mike came up with. Did.
Yep, and Scott's father,
Scott's
Need
father
the-
built the
the
frames.
Chanford forms, they're out in the open section where the
Yeah.
stairwell goes.
We managed to save those for the porch if need be.
Yep, so they're all stacked up out there
Yeah.
with a lid over them.
I have sawhorses up here and ladders.
Are you happy with the results so far?
Yeah, yeah. Everything's fit well, goes together nicely. We had some weather issues, but success.
And the foundation, are you okay with the cement work?
Cement work is second to none. It's been right on the money.
It's top notch.
Yep, that's for sure.
It was impressive when we put them first beams and together and they all slipped